Good morning, flower friends. This is Madonna from Eastside Flower Farm, Los Angeles, California, Zone 9. And Zone 9. I just wanted to briefly talk about zones here. I'm outside in my little secret garden. It's full of roses. And right behind me I have my Gertrude Jekyll, and she's not blooming right now because it's hot and it's the middle of the summer. So briefly, I just want to talk about zones. So I hear a lot of people referring to zones when they buy plants as heat, somewhere where there's heat. And Stevie's knocking the tripod. Steve, come here. I hear them referring to, well, we can't grow plants because it's too hot. Our summer times are too hot. Well, our summer times are too hot. But what the zones refer to is an average historical low temperature. So your zones are cold hardiness. They are not summertime heat hardiness. So we are zone 9B, and zone 9, from zone 9 to 10, that means our cold hardiness is between, what are you doing, girly? 20 and 30 degrees. That's pretty warm in the wintertime. That's pretty warm from the rest of the country. So within that zone, 9 to 10, there's two subcategories. So from zone 9A would be a low, historical average low temperature in the winter between 20 and 25 degrees. And zone 9B would be from 25 degrees to 30 degrees. So I think last year we actually got several days at 27 degrees was what the low was here on our farm. And for us, it was cold. So we did have some plants that died back because they did not like that cold, because it's usually warmer. So when you go and you buy a plant and it says it's for zone 9, and like I said, I'm far northern California, so I'm hour and a half, 2 hours from the southern Oregon border. So I am very central to, the mountains are an hour and a half, hour away on the east. The coast is 3 hours from me to the west. The San Francisco area is probably 3 hours south. So, and then, Oregon is, like I said, mountains up that way, hour and a half too. So we have all different climates around us. So I think Florida and Texas also are in zone 9s. So what's the real difference of, well, how come I can't grow this flower in my zone 9B and they can grow it in Florida? The big difference, it's water. It's all about water. The most precious commodity that we have here in California, it's water. So Florida, their rainy season, I think, is from like May to October, when they get their hurricanes, they have thunderstorms, it's green, and they get lots of humidity because of that. Texas, I believe they also, on average, are known for summertime showers, rain. Where we're at here, we don't get a lot of rain at all. So if we take a plant here and it says, we go and buy it and say, well, gosh, it was in my zone and it died, so my summer's too hot. And in Florida, they have the same zone and they can grow it. So what's the difference? It's the water. So we are having to water a lot. We don't have that rainfall. I think this year we got 1 or 2 summertime, like from May to now, rains, and it was wonderful. It was so nice. So if you're willing to water a lot, your plants are going to do really well. So when our plants die off in the summertime, because we've had so much heat and it's so dry, it's because they didn't get enough water down deep in the ground for the roots, so that they could pull through that extreme heat. And the water, California, we've had lots of restrictions over the last few years. It's super expensive now to water. So you're not going to be able to buy a plant and think that you're going to give it minimal water. And even us, we have a flower farm. I have a huge yard. We have lots and lots of water. Everything that I have is on a drip line, and it's on a timer, and it gets water every morning at 5 o'clock. We water everything. And so if you're just going out and you're giving your flower minimum amount of water and it's not going deep, you know, getting down 4 inches into the ground at least so it can get to the roots, it's going to struggle. Because not only is it going to get scorched on the top, if you don't have that moisture in the ground for it to keep its roots healthy and push out the greenery on top, it's going to struggle. So here in my area, our PG&E, our power company, is super expensive, and it keeps going up every single year. So I think right now we pay 35 cents a kilowatt on if you're using it just regular during the day, and then we have what's called a peak hour. It's either between 4 and 9 p.m. or 5 to 8 p.m. depending on which plan you're on. And then they just raise it again, so that goes up to 52 cents a kilowatt. That's really expensive. When you have a lot of stuff to water, people in the city, their water bills went up ridiculously. So what makes the difference for us here in my area with the Zone 9 compared to, say, Texas and Florida? It's really, like I said, the most precious commodity that we have here in the state of California, and it's our water. So it's not the zone for heat. The zone is for the cold temperatures. So even like if you say you buy a tree and you love it, you absolutely love it, and it says, oh, it's for Zone 7, and Zone 7 I believe is from 0 degrees, which I can't imagine, to 10 degrees. And then you want to try it and you're going to put it in a Zone 9, which is, like I said, 20 to 30 degrees. And it's not going to make it, and it's not because the summertime's too hot. It's because it's not getting that cold period that it needs. So that one maybe needs, 0 to 10 degrees and lots of moisture. And it's very common I've had many Christmases where it's been in the 70s here in our area, and we're outside playing and having a wonderful time. Well, if that little tree for Zone 7, needs 3 degrees, it's not going to make it here because we are too warm. So the zones, pay attention to where you're at, but it really doesn't matter unless you're looking for the average minimum cold temperature. If you're in a Zone 9 like we are, it's water, and it's so important. You have to have the water, and if you don't have enough water to keep the roots healthy, your plant's not going to make it. So just pay attention to your water. And if you're in an area where it's restricted and you know that you can't, either afford to water all the time, or they've cut your usage back where you can't, you might want to try Xeriscape. And a lot of people want to get away from that. Well, not everyone. Some people have gone to it, and it's wonderful. But if you're like me and you love to have a garden, and I have the flower farm, you need to just know that if you're not restricted with how much you use, that it's going to be expensive. So it's all about water, folks. So get out there and buy your plants. Make sure you can water them properly. All right, thanks guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.